Hello there. Welcome to Reddita. Today is the first ASKREDDIT video I've done in a while, so let's just skip the shtick and get right to it. Remember to please share, like, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Enjoy. r/AskReddit. What's the cruelest prank you've ever seen? Prank war going on in between two houses that were next to each other in San Diego. CA circa 2014. My cousin lived in one of the houses and this happened when I went to visit him a few years back. House number 1 pulled a prank that led to a member in house number 2 being late for his first day of work. It was collateral damage but the guy ended up getting fired for it. Guy who lost his job came home furious. He then took a 15-pound medicine ball and painted it to look just like a soccer ball. He tossed the medicine ball into the front yard of house number 1 and waited. When he saw the guy come out of the house he yells, "Hey Josh, can you kick that ball back over here?" Dude proceeds to take a running start and square up and kick the soccer ball with every ounce of strength he had. Poor bastard went down almost immediately in tears and screaming. Ended up breaking 3 bones in his right foot. Just brutal. And this is when the pranks ended and became attacks. I'm just guessing. Saw a guy tip over the porta potty with someone in it. That memory is clear. I think it was his GF. Probably wasn't after that. Lol. I woulda dumped him faster than he dumped all those dumps on me. Reddit. What was the final straw in your last relations? In another thread, a man was tipped over in a porta potty by some rando looking for a laugh. Guys gets out covered in that blue gunk and other nasty stuff and absolutely fuming. Proceeds to beat this guy within inches of his life with a brick. He got some jail time. Other guy was hospitalized. I don't think bludgeoning your prankster is right, but I can definitely say I understand why he did it. I remember seeing a video where they switched the pregnancy test to a fake positive one on their friend struggling with infertility. Effed up. This happened to me. 7th grade during Valentine's Day we had candy grams and cutesy stuff we could send to our friends, and obviously middle schoolers are sending them to their crushes. They would receive these candy grams during a class period as someone came by dropping them off. You could write a little message and then who it's from. I got one from this guy friend I liked and went up to him the next period and brought it up and said it was really cute and thanks. He looked a little confused but was like no problem. I felt kind of dumb after that and walked away. Just to find out the next day that it was one of my friends who sent it to me and just put his name on it to make it seem like it was him. I mean, at least he was nice enough to go along with it because he was just as confused. We used to have these in my JR High too. I got my first and final one in the 8th grade. It was from my math teacher. Catfishing seems like it can be pretty damaging to young people. Saw a kid at high school cafeteria spend 20 minutes removing seeds from jalapenos and chopping up the seeds until he had a handful. He walked over to a different table and threw the handful of sliced up seeds into the face of another kid. Sounds more like assault than a prank. Kid didn't even get in trouble at all. Was between 2 skaters. The other guy had to leave school that day but never ratted, and I like the payback was a nut punch from behind. My high school was I put meatballs in the chute for the ice maker, so when my roommate went to get some ice his glass filled up with meatballs. I laughed until I realized that meant the further ice would taste like meatballs as well. In college, at the end of the year, a club I was in had a roast of the outgoing seniors. My friend running the roast couldn't come up with anything for one of the guys, let's call him Ben, to drum up ideas. He called a bunch of Ben's close friends, also in the club, and asked them for things to make fun of Ben about. Thinking this was a confidential conversation, they proceed to absolutely lay into Ben. The guy is seriously lame, honestly. When I'm talking to a girl and he is there, it is supremely awkward. My friend simply recorded that whole conversation and played it outright for Ben's section of the roast, mortifying Ben and all his friends simultaneously. Sounds like this dude shouldn't have been writing the roast. How hard is it to just say that the dude is so boring that you can't think of anything to say about him? Not only is that cruel, but what the F kind of friends does Ben have? If I was Ben, I wouldn't have had any friends left. Friend of mine had a crush on his coworker. It was sort of an open secret. His manager tried to help him, offered advice, some things to say, small gifts she might be into, etc. What no one knew at the time was that said manager and said coworker had recently started dating and hadn't told anyone yet. So he meant it as a prank on his new girlfriend to be put into these awkward situations. But my friend's feelings were really hurt when it all came out. Wow, that is some class AA hollery right there. The first time I met my brother's new girlfriend, she pulled me aside and started crying. She told me that she was pregnant, but my brother wasn't ready to tell anyone. She asked me to check up on him cause he was really nervous. A couple days go by and I texted her to see how she was doing and if my brother was doing okay and if they needed anything. She asked me what I was talking about. I said the baby. She replied, "Oh, you believed me. I was only joking. I'm not pregnant. I can't believe you fell for that." This wasn't some teenager either. She was 30. Yes, I told my brother. Yes, he still ended up marrying her. Almost 10 years later I still refuse to trust her. A group of girls at my high school told a girl that they were hanging out at one of their houses at 9 near a train station. But they really just made up a time and place that would make her stranded at the last train stop with no more trains home. In the spirit of cruel revenge, she should have gotten her mom to call each of those girls and say, "Name didn't come home today. She said she was meeting with you. Do you know anything?" To be really cruel, get mom to say you were the last person to see her and the police want to talk to you. That happened to me. I was dating a dude who lived near Los Angeles, and I lived in Oceanside. There was a party at like 9 PM, so I took the train out and got there at 8 PM. This was before cell phones. I used the payphone to call him and he said he was heading to the train station. At 11 the train stopped running, and I didn't have money for a return ticket. He was going to drive me home and spend the next day with his mom who lived in Oceanside. The security guard bought me a ticket home, and when I got home by 1 AM, I had a bunch of AIM messages on my computer from him, and he had blocked me on everything. He went straight to his mom's and they both thought it was hilarious. I was so stupid. To be fair, I was hella stupid. Dude claimed he knew Trent Reznor, LMAO. When they gave that raccoon the cotton candy, bastards. For context to anybody who doesn't know, raccoons, apparently, wash their food before eating it, and these guys gave a raccoon a piece of cotton candy and the raccoon washed it for it to disappear into the water. This is one cruel world we live in. It's sad, but they gave the raccoon multiple pieces, and on the third or fourth piece it didn't wash it, so he got a nice snack in the end. Happened to me. Was at my first school dance in middle school. Was always the shy kid, so I was surprised when one of the popular chicks came to ask me to dance. I said no because I was shy, but I was elated that I got asked. A few minutes later I'm in the bathroom stall and a few kids come in and start talking about how they paid her $10 to ask me, and if I said yes she would have just tripped me and made me look dumb. I never went to another dance all throughout middle and high school, even prom. On the bright side you said no, which kind of made her look dumb, lol. I don't have a specific example in my life, but I've always thought those fake lottery tickets are cruel. Those people think their life is going to change, and then it's all yanked away from them while people laugh. Same energy as when a parent gifts their kids something in the box for an iPad Switch, something expensive and fancy, but it's really something shitty and lame inside. The entire joke is, haha, you thought your dreams were coming true, but then they didn't. Look at us, a bunch of kidders. To toy with your emotions like that. I'm friends with a couple where the husband did the fake winner ticket thing to his wife. Then 3 years later she quietly replaced the real tickets he put in her stocking with her own fake winner tickets, scratched them off and ripped up a $50,000 winner in front of him, claiming he must be playing that stupid joke on her again. He panicked bad, grabbed the pieces of the tickets, put them back together, saw it was a winner and proceeded to freak out. Went on to Google, researched if ripped up lottery tickets could be redeemed. Basically cried. She let it run to the absolute end where he went to call some number on the back and saw the novelty text. I have no idea what radio station this was on as I was only a kid, but they used to do prank phone calls. I have little to no recollection of many of them except this one, as even as a kid I could tell it was just wrong. The radio host rang up a woman and advised that he was the manager of her husband's company and he was very sorry to tell her that he had been involved in an accident with some heavy machinery and it had resulted in his death. As you would expect, the woman was beside herself with being told her husband had just died. She was wailing on the phone and the radio host couldn't really get another word in to explain it was a joke. And then they just cut off the phone call and played a song. Even as a kid I knew it was a really stupid and cruel idea, and I'm pretty sure that was the last time they did a prank phone call. My ex Friend thought it was a funny prank to kill my brother's hamster and tie it up and dress it in ridiculous ways. I remember reading somewhere, probably on Reddit, that someone as a kid had a friend over who was a compulsive liar and was trying to convince him he had super speed. To prove it, he said he was going to throw Up's hamster as hard as he could and then go catch it before it hit the wall. Needless to say, a few seconds later OP is standing there shocked as his hamster was flattened against the wall and immediately died. The kid apparently tried to play it off, but when the mother came up and saw what happened, she told him to leave and that he wasn't allowed to come back. I genuinely think we really need to watch out for kids like this. Kids that care more about being funny and impressing other kids than about the life of an innocent creature. Either they genuinely don't know that it's wrong to kill things, which is horrifying, or they do know but care more about themselves, which is also horrifying. Like Mike Tyson's new documentary when the bully killed his pigeon and he beat his A something serious. In high school, one of the cutest girls in my grade came up to me and told me she had a crush on me and wanted to go out on a date. I was skeptical because no one had ever asked me out before. But I was growing into my body pretty well and definitely more attractive than I was as an early teen, so I just figured puberty was doing some good work for me. We were 16/17 and had both just got our licenses, so she said she'd meet me at the movie theater and we'd go have dinner after the movie. I told my mom and she got all excited and helped me pick out an outfit and took pictures of me before my first ever date. Cringe af, but you know how it goes. I went and got a haircut and my car detailed so I'd be rolling fresh, you know. And believe me, I was looking tasty. Fresh shave, hair edged up sharp enough to cut glass. I was dripped out before the phrase even existed. So I show up at the theater a couple minutes early and I'm waiting for her, and after like 15 minutes I think maybe I'll call her to make sure she didn't like have an emergency come up or something. We didn't have texting back then. So I call her and she answers on speakerphone and like 5 other girls are all laughing at me saying things like hahaha he actually showed up. So yeah, it was all just a prank to hurt my feelings, jokes on me I guess. My so-called friends had my mom drop me off at a mall and we hang out until nearing my bedtime. Mind you, this was back when there were pagers. For the generation that grew up with smartphones. Back before cell phones were something everyone had, they used to be a pager. So I asked my friends when we are going back home cause my mom has talked to their mothers about someone dropping me off home. My parents both worked. Anyways, they decided to tell me that their mom will pick them up from this door and I should go ahead of them. They left and I was a 12-year-old lost kid in a mall with no parent. Luckily one of the male school bullies saw me and was like, "Oh, I nerd, what were you doing late?" and I just broke down crying. Kid just dropped the bullying and went, "Oh I what happened?" And according to my parents I just blabbered everything IJT and he told me to wait till he found a phone and paged my dad while calling his mom and telling her what happened. Needless to say, they got a frantic father going, "What the hell happened?" and the girls said they told their mom that I saw my uncle and left with him. But to be honest, me and the bully became best of friends. That was an awesome character development there. I just got pregnant. Aren't you happy for me? Said on the 1st of April in front of a woman who had a stillbirth a month before. I was once prank called by someone, a classmate presumably, and they told me they were going to kill my best friend who was in the same class as me. It was really effing weird. The school never figured out who it was. They just asked if my friend had any enemies. Bro, we are 11. TBH, I had far more enemies at 11 than I do as an adult. Kids are a-holes sometimes. The Daddy 05 Youtuber pranks. Those weren't pranks. They were child abuse. If I recall correctly, all of those kids have been placed with competent and caring relatives since then. When I was a kid, somehow my classmates found it funny to piss in other people's cans of soda. I did not have a good childhood. Killing a farmer's cow as some sick joke. The cow was not a meat cow either, it was the farmer's beloved pet and he pet it and fed it and played with the friendly cow each and every day. The farmer sued the kids who killed the cow and he won $70K and $20K for emotional upset. Stay winning, kings. The cow was an old bull. It was the most friendly cow I have ever seen. It was not even neutered and had really big horns and loved sitting next to the farmer and just graze next to him. Imagine some kids coming into your yard where your dog was just chilling and killing him. My brother gave my phone number to some rando, who proceeded to call me at all hours and threatened to RE me. In 6th grade I opened my locker and a note from the boy I had a crush on fell out saying he liked me too. A bunch of girls in my grade were there when I found it and were super happy for me. Or I thought they were. When I went to the boy to ask him about it, he said he didn't write it and the group of girls who were there when I found the note had written it. I turned around and sure enough they're laughing. But it crushed me. Not that the boy didn't like me back, but because I didn't think these girls I'd gone to school with since first grade were that mean. A couple weeks later the group played a similar joke on one of the girls who was actually in on the prank against me, and I got a genuine apology from her after she realized how bad I must have felt. None of the other girls ever apologized. In middle school a girl came up to us on the playground and told this dude to go see the principal. He's looking for you, he got a call that your mom died. Then as soon as the dude ran away she told us all she just made it up. It was effing horrible. I feel like the girl wouldn't have a lot of friends after this. Yeah, she went from one of a clique of popular girls to pretty much an outcast. It was like days before graduation anyhow, so I didn't really see a big fallout from it. But the guy was pretty messed up as a result, at least for that last bit I knew him. When I was in 8th grade a thing called turtling and zip tying backpacks were popular. Well, one day early in the year on the bus ride home a kid decided to zip tie a 6th grader's backpack to the leg of the chair, which is welded to the floor. When he got up to leave and realized his backpack was stuck, he started panicking trying to get it undone and eventually had to leave the backpack, and he was stressing out saying his mom was going to freak out on him. He looked like he was about to cry. I remember this bullsh. Someone did something similar on my bus. Bus driver pulls out this knife and cuts the tie. She then looks around at everyone and says that if it ever happens again she is parking the bus, and no one was leaving until someone admitted to being an idiot. That was the day we learned the bus driver had a knife and didn't F around. Everyone behaved for the rest of the year. A group of students in my high school wrote up and passed around an unofficial page of senior superlatives before graduation. The popular kids got named neutral good things like most likely to own a tech company or first to get $1 million. Unpopular kids got ugliest or most likely to die in prison or most cowardly. I was most unfable. In hindsight, I'm not sure if it really was a prank or just a bunch of really mean-spirited people. I remember when the ALS challenge was popular, I read an article about a prank played on a special needs high schooler. These kids told him it was just water in the bucket, but it was also piss, cigarette butts, all sorts of disgusting Then they put the video all over the internet, as though the bucket wasn't enough. Russian YouTuber was arrested after locking his pregnant girlfriend outside in Russian winter wearing only her underwear. She died of hypothermia right on their balcony. Whoa, you made it to the end? Nice. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm a new channel, and it helps a lot more than you think. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.